Maheo Reiki by Cheryl Rain Carter. Human anatomy. Nervous system. There are many parts to the nervous system, as is shown here. The nervous system is a complex collection of nerves and specialized cells known as neurons that transmit signals between different parts of the body. It is essentially the body's electrical wiring. Structurally, the nervous system has two components: the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system is made up of the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. The peripheral nervous system consists of sensory neurons, ganglia, which are clusters of neurons, and nerves that connect to one another and to the central nervous system. Functionally, the nervous system has two main subdivisions: the somatic or voluntary component and the autonomic or involuntary component. The autonomic nervous system regulates certain body processes, such as blood pressure and the rate of breathing, that work without conscious effort. The somatic system consists of nerves that connect the brain and spinal cord with muscles and sensory receptors in the skin. The nervous system is made up of all the nerve cells in your body. It is through the nervous system that we communicate with the outside world, and at the same time, many mechanisms inside our body are controlled. History of the nervous system. Nerves proved to be a fairly difficult part of the body to categorize. The origins of the word nerve were initially a Greek word meaning tendon or sinew, which suggests a certain confusion between connective tissues and other more subtle types of physical connections within the body. As late as the 12th century, a Jewish philosopher observed, "One who is not knowledgeable in anatomy may mistake ligaments, tendons, and cords for nerves." Nonetheless, ancient medical practitioners did understand that nerves served roughly two functions: movement and sensation. The question was how they operated and under the direction of a principal organ. In the 4th century BC, the Greek philosopher Aristotle believed firmly that the nerves were controlled by and originated in the heart because it was, in his interpretation, the first organ of the body and the seat of all motion and sensation. Not surprisingly, he was misled by his confusion between ligaments and nerves in drawing this conclusion. 6 centuries later, the Roman physician Galen contradicted him, disparaging those who know nothing of what is seen in dissection. Instead, he concluded that the brain was the most important organ of the body. Medieval physicians, in agreement with Galen, believed nerves were offshoots of and controlled by the brain. The Islamic medical philosopher Avicenna wrote in the early 11th century that nerves are one of the simple members, homogeneous, indivisible, the elementary tissues. Others included the bone, cartilage, tendons, ligaments, arteries, veins, membranes, and flesh. Avicenna also believed the nerves to be entangled with and responsible to the emotions, yet another sign of their strong connections to the brain. Slightly more than a century later, Master Nicholas offered a more precise vocabulary to express the new complexity of the nervous system. He called the nerves subservient members of the brain that carried out the animal spirits to all members, endowing them with sensation and motion. Many medieval anatomists devised elaborate theories of how the nerves created emotion and sensation in different parts of the body through their attachment to principal organs and members. The writings of Renaissance physicians reflect a mixture of ancient and medieval beliefs about the nervous system, as well as new knowledge from anatomical dissections. Discussions of the nervous system increasingly reflect a mixture of close readings of ancient texts and knowledge culled from dissections. Similarly, Leonardo da Vinci initially relied quite heavily on the writings of Avicenna and others in describing the nervous system and believed the heart to be the first organ. But this did not prevent him from recognizing that the nerves emanated from a different source. As of 1681, a new word had appeared in English, neurology, coined by Thomas Willis to describe the study of neuroanatomy. Not until the late 18th century did physiologists begin to make the connection between recent work on electricity and theories of the nervous system. In 1497, Alessandro Benedetti says, "By means of nerves, the pathways of the senses are distributed like the roots and fibers of a tree." Basic nervous system functions. Nerves are cylindrical bundles of fibers that start at the brain and end at the central cord and branch out to every other part of the body. Neurons send signals to other cells through thin fibers called axons, which cause chemicals known as neurotransmitters to be released at junctions called synapses. There are over 100 trillion neural connections in the average human brain, though the number and location can vary. A synapse gives a command to the cell, and the entire communication process typically takes only a fraction of a millisecond. Signals travel along an alpha motor neuron in the spinal cord at about 268 miles per hour, or 431 kilometers per hour, the fastest transmission in the human body. Sensory neurons react to physical stimuli such as light, sound, and touch, and send feedback to the central nervous system about the body's surrounding environment. Motor neurons, located in the central nervous system or in peripheral ganglia, transmit signals to activate the muscles or glands. Glial cells, derived from the Greek word for glue, are specialized cells that support, protect, or nourish nerve cells. The brain's connections and thinking ability grew over thousands of years of evolution. For example, a virus bound its genetic code to the genome of four-limbed animals, and the code can still be found in humans' brains today. According to two papers published in January 2018 in the journal Cell, this code packages up genetic information and sends it from nerve cells to other nearby nerve cells, a very important process in the brain. Diseases of the nervous system. Of all the diseases of the nervous system, the most common difficulty that people have is pain, and much of that is nerve-related. There are an estimated 100 million people who live with chronic pain. Patients with nerve disorders experience functional difficulties, which can result from some of the conditions below, but also result in some of the conditions listed, most of which we've already covered in the brain chapter, so we will not cover that again here. The symptoms of a nervous system problem depend on which area of the nervous system is involved and what is causing the problem. Nervous system problems may occur slowly and cause a gradual loss of function, or they may occur suddenly and cause a life-threatening problem. Symptoms may be mild or severe. Some serious conditions and diseases and injuries that can cause nervous system problems include the ones listed on the screen below. Some more facts about the nervous system. The lumbar plexus is a network of nerve fibers that supply the skin and musculature of the lower limbs. It is located in the lumbar region within the substance of the psoas major muscle and interior to the transverse process of the lumbar vertebra. The sciatic nerve is the largest and the longest nerve in the human body. Every person has two sciatic nerves, the right and the left nerves, supplying each lower limb. The terminal branches of the brachial plexus include the axillary, muscle cutaneous, radial, ulnar, and the median nerves. Each is responsible for specific motor and sensory innervation of the upper extremity. As major sensory components of the body, the hands are the destination for a majority of the nerves in the upper limb. Natural remedies. Caution. Use care. These are strong medicines. There are a large number of natural herbs that can be used to support nervous system health. Some we have already spoken about and will not cover here. Some are great for protecting your brain and nerves from damage. Some help calm things down when you need it, and some keep your mental game sharp. Valerian root. Valerian root helps calm the nervous system when it is overactive. It can do this by affecting levels of neurotransmitters involved in rest and sleep. For example, it increases the amount of certain neurotransmitters called GABA, which has calming properties. Both passion flower and chamomile can be drunk in a tea, and they both help to calm the nervous system and aid in relaxation. St. John's wort can uplift moods in mild cases of depression, anxiety, SAD disorder, and PMS. And many people don't realize that St. John's wort is also antiviral and anti-inflammatory, which can ease pain. And skullcap helps with insomnia. We'll discuss 2 apothecary recipes for herbal help. And the first one will be Serenity Body Oil, which can be made via stovetop method or solar infusion method. Both are included in the file. You will need 1.5 cups dried or 3.5 cups fresh mugwort leaves, 3 cups extra virgin olive oil or almond oil to use as a base. If you have a nut allergy or any allergy, you may use a different oil. 10 drops of clary sage essential oil and 10 drops of sweet marjoram essential oil. And the way that you make that will depend whether you want to use the solar infusion method or the stovetop method. To make a tension calming tea, you will mix vivid blue flowers, which are skullcap. You will chop half a cup of leaves and flowers and add to 2 cups of boiling water. Steep for 15 minutes and strain. Sweeten with honey and drink several cups a day. It can be used to treat epilepsy, convulsions, and any involuntary trembling of the limbs. Thank you so much for watching. Follow us here on social media to learn more.